Hit it, Phil.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze. It's Jackson time. La-da-da-da.
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I am joined by Kathy Fuller-Seeley, John Henderson,
Hello.
and famous engineer from Amtrak, Terry Phillips. Hi. I'm so glad to have Terry here. So we have done this one before, but this episode was the very first one, I think, that we ever did as a group. It was even pre-Terry, so we had just John, myself, and Kathy. And I just listened to it and I was like, I think we need to redo this one. Because we tend to talk more about the episode now than we did at that point. So, and this episode's deserving of it.
That's a Jack Benny tradition to redo.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
We're
So
doing a
there we
very
go.
many
Keep up with
things.
Jack. So anyway, this one, it's the train episode for television. And it's often called the New York trip episode, but I like to call it the train episode just because it, to me, makes more sense. It's certainly one that they've done in radio for years and years and years. They did the train trip basically every year that they would do that. And so it was really fine tuned, almost like the Christmas episode, Christmas shopping, do those every year. And so I would say amongst the episodes, this is definitely a top 5 episode for me. I realize people out there are saying, wait a minute, you said enough episodes are in your top 5 that there must be like 40 episodes in your top 5. But this one truly is my top 5. So we'll go around and chat about it. It has some wonderful, it's lovely getting Sheldon Leonard here with him doing the racetrack tout, because we don't get that too often in television. We get it a few times, but this is definitely the train station episodes are one of the ones known for having the racetrack tout there and things a lot. So it's neat having that. Let's go over to John and see what John's thoughts are on the train station episode.
Yeah, I think as a fan of the Jack Benny radio show, this is a great episode because it calls back and it pays off a lot of the things from the radio show. I think if you are like an I Love Lucy kind of classic TV fan and you turn this on, it may not hit you, as high quality as you might expect. I mean, for one thing, the picture quality isn't as good as some of the filmed episodes because this is a live episode.
Correct.
But as a radio show fan, this is great. Like you said, there's the a buddy cameraman tout, and that's always fun. You've got Frank Nelson, the yes guy, which is hilarious. And of course, I think the star of the show is Mel Blanc.
Yeah. And Mel, we love to hear his train, and to hear Mel. Usually in shows, Mel does like one thing. In this show, he does multiple things. We certainly hear him throughout as the train announcer, which is always love him doing that. For me, and this is just me, his crying cabbie, I have a little more trouble with, just because I don't know, it's almost a little bit like The Office or something, where they do comedy and it's almost like makes me cringe a little bit at it, because in radio the crying cabbie works because it's just a vocal, but when you see him crying and everything, it just makes you kind of feel a little uncomfortable to have somebody crying like that.
Yeah.
And have no one really reacting to it. Just belittling him and things, but it's okay. I mean, it's not like too long of a piece. I just don't think it transferred to television as well as some of the other pieces here. Let's go over to Kathy and get Kathy's thoughts on this one.
That's such a great point, Daryl, because what really struck me about this episode is it's a fabulous example of the transition from radio to live, early television live, to what would become, because they're playing both with many jokes for the ear as well as adding jokes for the eye. I was really struck by when we were hearing Mel do the train leaving on track 5, they had some horns up on the stage and a sign that said information, and the camera focused on that, as in this idea that we would have to be able to see. We would never understand,
right?
Something that makes perfect sense in radio, but that we'd need to see something on the television screen to remind us that that's what the sound is doing. So as you say, the crying cabbie doesn't work very well on television. I was just really impressed by what a small and crowded set, because as you say, John, this was done live. And then again, so early television on one stage, they have to cram everything in. And so I love that. I thought that feeling of claustrophobia on the little bitty set was just fascinating, in the way they had Jack work his way around to the different parts of the set. And then I love the bit that was added for television that wouldn't have made sense on the radio, was goodbye,
Yes.
John, goodbye,
Yes.
whoever.
Yeah.
And the couple kissing right in the middle of the set that they have to keep working around. So it's, as I said, I was really struck by what a great moment in time this version of the classic train episode represented. So.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah, there was so much to love in this episode. Now that I think about it, Kathy, though, let's change gears for just a second. And Kathy's book arrived for both of us, for Kathy and myself, and so we thought we'd show it. There we go. That's the third volume.
Yay.
Just a wonderful volume. It's a little thicker than the previous volumes, and her intro's quite a bit longer than the other volumes.
All new stuff. So.
Yeah, which is very good. It's a very entertaining read, so you will enjoy that, especially certainly if you enjoy reading the old episodes, because that's what it is, essentially a script collection. But they're a collection of scripts that have never been, you've never heard these. They are ones that are that's why they're called the Lost Radio Broadcasts. And so Kathy has brought us.
Well, notice the little CBS microphone I had.
That's right.
So this is the 13 weeks that Jack was with CBS in late 32, early 33, before he went back to the whole rest, to many more years at NBC. So
right. And so for folks wanting to get that at Amazon, it's $52 for the hardback volume. I have the hardback one. It's $40
and 40 for the paperback. And
right.
If anybody buys it, I will send you a penny so that you can claim you actually paid $39.99.
Excellent.
I'll send you a penny. So.
And if you want to get a Jack Benny deal on the thing, you go to Ben Omart's site, which is
BearManorMedia.com. I think.
You type in Bear Manor Media, you go there. They have the hardback for $40, which is the price of the paperback. They also have the paperback for $40. I don't know why you would buy a paperback when you can get a hardback for the same price, but whatever.
He's also going to start offering a bundle deal. So if you're late to the series, you can get all 1,
three.
2, and 3 together.
And then you get 75-ish Jack Benny scripts that you've never had a chance to enjoy before. And when you read them, really, if you're listening to a lot of Jack Benny shows, like most of us have, then it kind of comes to life as you're reading it. You're almost like hearing it. In fact, after I read them, I'll be thinking about episodes and I'll remember, oh yeah, that one. And then I'll be like, wait, I didn't hear that one. I read that one. And it's hard to remember whether you read it or heard it. So that's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
So great job with
they mentioned some books in the episode. I wonder if you took note of that, Terry.
I did.
Tell us, Terry, tell us.
Well, first, before we get too far away from it, that kissing couple were Bill and Marion. And at the end, Jack Don Wilson mentions who the other actors were, who might not have been familiar to the general audience. And the woman was Dolores Donlin. She was a pinup, a Playboy playmate in August of 1957, and was well known for her curvaceousness, shall we say. I think the guy who played Bill was an actor named Mike Moore. He was the only one Don identified who I couldn't find, but I'm pretty sure that's who that actor was. And the woman selling the books and the magazines was Chucky Bradley. And she was, she'd done some TV. I don't know if she did radio, but I'm pretty sure that's who that was. And yeah, I think all of those titles that they mentioned were actual books that were popular at the time. I wanted to mention a few other historical references. I think the most noticeable one to me was when Mel Blanc, as the train announcer, says, if you forgot or if you missed it, missed paying your income taxes, the next train will be going to Folsom, San Quentin, and Alcatraz. Interestingly enough, that was the year 1950. So this was April 17th, 1955. That was the year that the income tax due date changed to April 15th. Prior to that, originally it was March 1st when taxes were first required in 1913. Then in 1918, they moved it back to March 15th. And then in this year, they moved it back a month again. And those three prisons, only one of them was a federal prison. Folsom and San Quentin were state prisons. I don't think anybody would have gone there for not paying their U.S. income taxes, but Alcatraz was a possibility. And then I liked when he said train leaving for when the train was had lost its brakes, the one that was passing through, it went to Hollywood and then Westwood and then Santa Monica, and then there was this big splash into the Pacific Ocean. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, just a sweet episode to watch from beginning to end. I just really enjoyed this, and seeing this, the Sportsmen were in this one, right?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and seeing the Sportsmen is always a joy, and so it's nice seeing them as well. So
and we didn't mention Artie Auerbach as Mr.
yes,
Oh, yes.
And he makes reference to that to those bagpipes, and he said when Jack asked him if where he got the bagpipes, and he said that Jim Clinton gave it to him with the suit.
Right.
You all know who Jim Clinton was? That was a fashionable brand of men's clothing in the 1940s and 50s, I think.
okay.
I have no idea who the man was, but that was the brand. It was a designer brand of clothes.
Yeah, we did this episode before, and I looked that up, and I still didn't remember.
Well, I'm not sure it's still around, but that's who at the time it would have been known.
Yeah, talking about the thing where it's like, the city and then splash. And to what you were saying, Kathy, this being a sort of like television episode of a radio episode, I was surprised how much was still left to the theater of the mind, things like that. And there's at one point where there's like the train crash is going to happen, and there's like a whole cast of people just standing around listening.
Which was very strange looking. Yes, no, I noticed that too. Like they did the Glockamora bit on this too, didn't they, or did they not?
I don't remember that.
Okay,
I don't remember that on this one.
okay, maybe they didn't.
He mentions, he asks him if Jack asks Kitzel if he's Scottish.
Okay.
His wife is from Glockamora.
There you go. They had to mention Glockamora in here somewhere. So.
And he said, "Are you Scottish?" And he said, "Hootman." I will say, speaking of adaptation, which is basically what this is, they adapted a radio play for TV. It's one of the hardest things in the world for writers to do. I tried adapting my novel as a screenplay and couldn't do it. I'm in the process right now of adapting my Reagan stage play as a screenplay, and it's really hard. So I give Jack's writers credit for a lot of things, including being able to do what we're all talking about here, making radio work on TV.
Well, and that's helpful too, Terry, because we often talk about why didn't they bring over more of the radio shows? We love the radio shows so much and things, but maybe because it was so much work to figure out how what it would benefit from by being visual, because it was made to not be visual. And so it's like, all right, this is interesting as a radio show, but it's not going to be interesting as a television show. And so maybe that's why.
My guess is they'd also have some pressures on them to do something new and different. The critics in this point were really on the older radio performers. I mean, poking at them, going, give us something new, do something different. And so I think if he'd, I appreciate that they were able to come up with so much that was new. But if they simply just repeated the old things, I'm not sure if many would have been as successful because it turns out right after this when they get to New York, they say at this episode, they're going to have the Jackie Gleason show, which was something, different. It was very New York and very much Gleason and the showgirls. And so So I think if we looked at a season's shows, thinking about fall 54 into the spring of 55, I bet we would see old, new, old mixtures.
Yep. And filmed live, and all of that going back and forth as well.
New topic, revamping old topic, so.
I wish I
you
could
mentioned that
remember.
this. Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
I was going to say, I wish I could remember the Jackie Gleason show better, because in this episode he says Mary's going to be on the next show, maybe. And I don't remember whether she was or not.
I don't think so. That was Jack and Rochester in the suite at the fancy hotel.
Yep.
So
Right.
But indeed, that it's a good insight into the fact that Jack didn't know if Mary would be willing to do this, and so the writers probably had to have plug-in lines where if Mary was willing to do it, you do this, and if not, well, then you change it to Rochester or something. So
crazy. Well, and that one, I believe, the Gleason one, I'm pretty sure was a live one, and she never did live, so. Yep. He would have really been talking her into something if she would have pulled off a live episode. So yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Kathy, I just wanted to add that when you mentioned early on that this was done on one small set, I'm not sure exactly how they did it, but at the very beginning, they had either a side part of this stage or perhaps a separate stage where they did the scene in the
automobile. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, it was obviously not a taxi that they were in. But this whole show was very much like a stage show, which I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely. And the car thing, I was going to ask you about that, Terry, and see if any of you knew how they would do it. I mean, to do that live and have the screen behind them showing cars driving behind them, I thought that seems like a pretty advanced skill.
That would have been pre-filmed and just shown on a screen.
Yeah.
And the little set would be the back half of a car.
That's right.
Mel, with Mel just sitting up front holding a steering wheel.
That was actually not that unusual a convention in the 1950s. It was done a lot.
Yeah.
A lot in film too.
Yeah. A lot in film. Yes. Sure. Yes. But I thought it looked pretty good for what it was, for being a live shot and putting that together.
Yeah. Well, that's ambitious for live TV. And then the other thing is sort of very crammed together and interesting in the staging. So
and they even had a live parrot for Polly.
Yeah. And to have a shot where you get in the cab driver and the two people in the back seat, and have them be able to have dialogue back and forth, and sometimes have it just be between Jack and Mel, and then sometimes having Rochester pop in. Was pretty dynamic the way they pulled that all off in a little cab. So yeah.
Well, even if you look at the rest of the show, the train station, there's so much going on, so many people, and like people who got, their own scene are just standing around the rest of the time. Yeah. So everyone needs to know when to move out of the way and when the camera needs to get close. So yeah, definitely there must have been a lot of work and rehearsal put into this episode.
That's what I was gonna say. This is one of those where you didn't come in and have Jack go, if we would have only rehearsed it at least once. I think they rehearsed this one a lot. But great episode. So anyone else have anything else to throw in?
Just the last part where Jack's talking about Mary, it's such a fun story, but it almost seems like he's killing time a little bit. It's like, stretch, do something extra. We're a little early, and then suddenly, okay, time's up. I gotta go.
Anyway, I hope folks enjoy this. I enjoyed having Artie Auerbach on here. It was wonderful seeing him. He's only on like a dozen episodes, so this is awesome. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
From Television City in Hollywood, the Jack Benny program presented by Lucky Strike.
Light up a lucky, it's light up time.
Be happy, go lucky, it's light up time.
For the taste that you like, light up a Lucky Strike. Relax, it's light up time.
There's a time and a place for everything, And the right time for a Lucky is any time you want to enjoy a great cigarette. And the right place for a Lucky is wherever you happen to be at the time. You'll always enjoy Luckies because Luckies taste better. Lucky Strike is made of fine, naturally good-tasting tobacco. And it's toasted to taste better, cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Yes, sir. Lucky's taste better. Anytime, anywhere. So right now, light up a Lucky. It's light up time. Enjoy the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight Jack Benny leaves for New York City. As a matter of fact, right now Jack and Rochester are in a taxi cab on their way to the Union Station.
Well, Rochester, it won't be long now. We'll soon be on the train on our way to New York.
By the way, boss, you didn't tell me. Why are we making this trip?
Well, for the same reason I went last year. You see, my option is coming up, and I'm a little nervous.
Well, you needn't be, boss. Your sponsor's office is on Madison Avenue opposite CBS, isn't it?
What difference does that make?
If he doesn't pick up your option, you can run across the street and get on Strike and Ridge.
What?
I'll rush into a phone booth and get the Heartline going.
Rochester, I hope you won't have to do that. Oh, driver, can you make it a little bit faster, please? We have a train to catch.
I know. I know.
What's the matter with him?
Say, boss, when we get to New York, are we going to stay at a nice hotel or that Acme Plaza again?
Well, I'm going to stay at the Acme Plaza. I like it there.
Well, I kind of thought you would. So I packed your bathrobe, your slippers, and a flashlight.
Rochester, it's inside now.
I'm glad. Once you stayed at a place where we had to pack a bicycle.
All right. Hey, we're near the station. There's a Union Station just a block up ahead. Now, that's why I like it better taking a taxi instead of our own, car.
Okay, folks, you can get out here.
Wait a minute. Get out here? We're a block away. Why don't you take us to the station?
Well, I never take anybody to the station.
What?
I can't stand goodbyes.
What?
I can't bear to see people go away. That's why I hate to take people to the railroad station. I hate it. I hate it.
Look, cry on your own time. The meter is running. And don't be silly now. Take us to the station.
Okay. Okay.
Train leaving on track 5 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
Rochester, where's the taxi driver? I told him to bring the bags in.
Oh.
Find out where.
Oh, here you go.
Driver, how much is the fare?
That'll be...
Stop crying, will you?
I can't help it. I told you I hate to take people to the station. I didn't want to come to the station, but you made me. You made me.
I'm sorry I upset you. Here, keep the change.
Thank you. Why do people have to go away?
So emotional. Well, Rochester, here, I'll take Polly, and you take the bag. I gotta find Don Wilson.
Oh, yes.
I can. You take the bags, and I'll see if I can find them.
stop at Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga will only go to Anaheim and Azusa. Cucamonga was moved to make room for the freeway.
Jack!
Oh, Don, I was looking all over for you.
I was over talking to the station master. I wasn't satisfied with the accommodations on the train, but it's all straightened out now.
It is?
Yeah, they're hooking on an extra diner.
Oh, well, for you, they could hook on another engine, too. Believe me.
Hey, Jack, why are you taking that silly parrot to New York?
Because the last time I left her alone, she got so upset, she picked out all her feathers, plucked them right out.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I still have the pillow.
Well, Jack, I want to check a bag and send a wire. I'll see you later.
All right, I just want to get some magazines over here.
Hiya, bud.
Huh?
Long time no see.
Yeah. I always run into that racetrack tout.
May I help you, sir?
No, I'm just looking around. I want to find something to read, that's all.
Attention, please, attention. The train arriving from Reno, Nevada will be 6 weeks late. The engineer is getting a divorce.
Look, miss.
Yes, sir?
Well, I think I'll take this week's Look magazine here because something I want to read in here about Giselle McKenzie. Story here. I want to get a book, too, on the train. Let's see. There's Treadmill to Oblivion by Fred Allen. There's Bob Hope's book, Half Tucks Will Travel. Call Me Lucky by Bing Crosby. Call Me Lucky Lager by Frank Remley. There's a corkscrew in here for the... Well, anyway, I think I've read everything.
Here's a wonderful new book by Georgie Jessel I know you'll love. It's called This Way, Miss.
Oh, this is Jessel's new book, huh? Oh, yeah, I think I'll buy this one. I'll have him autograph it for me, you see.
Oh, do you know Mr. Jessel?
I'm his son. I'll take this one, I think.
Fine.
Attention, please, attention. Train now leaving on track 8 for Barstow, Albuquerque, Kansas City, Chicago, and Cucamonga. They really moved it.
Thank you very, very much.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jack,
What?
Jack, look who I just ran into.
Hey, the Sportsmen. Hiya, fellas.
Yeah, they came down to say goodbye to you.
Well, that's nice. Goodbye, boys. You know, I'm going right away. So I
Give our regards to Broadway. Remember us to Barrow Square.
Everybody's looking.
Gang on Lucky's hit parade.
Boy,
We
don't
wish
sing that
that
station.
we were there.
We know you go to Lindy's because the sauerkraut is free.
And tell everyone on Old Broadway to light an LSMFT.
Fellas, look, everybody's watching you. Stop dancing. Fellas, look, stop dancing. Everybody's watching. Fella, wait a minute, boys. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute! Even Max Liebman wouldn't say goodbye like that.
Attention, please, attention. On next Sunday, your railroad schedules will change. The whole country will go on light-up time.
Well, I can't interfere with that.
Give our regards to LS. Remember us to MFTFT.
Tell all our friends it's light up time.
No matter what the time may be.
Even daylight saving.
Lucky's are so much smoother. A cleaner, fresher cigarette. Lucky's are toasted, yes sirree. And like at Sullivan's Crown, they are the toast of the town. So let's all light up a Lucky's
next time the Sportsman Quartet want to say goodbye to me, bring them to my house, will you?
Okay, I'll do it, Jack. See you on the train.
Okay, I gotta go and pick up a ticket.
Bye, Marion.
Goodbye, Bill.
Ah, gee, isn't that sweet?
Oh, there you are, mister.
I thought you left.
I've been looking all over for you. I had to come back. Have a nice trip and enjoy yourself. Please, please, don't forget to write.
I never saw you before today.
I can't help it. I just can't stand to see people go. Why must people always be traveling, traveling, traveling?
Get away. Secretary Dulles must drive him nuts. Oh, my goodness, I forgot the parrot.
Bye, Marion.
Polly.
Goodbye, Bill.
Oh, isn't that cute? Polly, Polly, Daddy forgot all about you. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, Miss.
Yes?
The parrot happened to take a TB guide here. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. She already paid for it.
Polly paid for it? Where did she get the money? I don't know.
Attention, please, attention. All you absent-minded people who forgot to pay your income tax. Train now leaving for Folsom, San Quentin, and Alcatraz. Change clothes in San Francisco.
Silliest thing I've ever heard.
Bye,
Come on,
Marion.
Polly.
Goodbye, Bill.
Gosh. I'll never see.
Hey, Bud. Bud,
Huh?
come here a minute.
Who, me?
Here, you, here. Where you going?
To New York.
What train you taking?
The Super Chief.
Uh-uh.
What?
Take the El Capitan.
I don't know. I like the Super Chief.
Come here a minute. El Capitan will beat Super Chief into Chicago by 3 lengths.
I don't know. Are you sure?
I was talking to the engineer that rides El Capitan, and he says that today she is ready.
Well, gee, I don't know. The El Capitan, eh?
Yes, sir. Take my word for it. She likes a fast track, hugs the rail, and she has a braided caboose.
No kidding.
Just look at the breeding.
The breeding?
El Capitan is by 20th century out of Bethlehem steel.
Well, thanks very much for the tip, but, you see, I have some information, too, you know.
You have?
Yeah. Come here a minute. Don't noise this around, see? But I'm taking the Super Chief.
Why?
I found out Super Chief is a sleeper.
Okay. See you at the Kentucky Derby.
What a character.
Attention, please, attention. Will the immigrant carrying the bird cage please go to the station agent and be vaccinated?
An immigrant. I was here before the Indians. Cleveland Indians, I mean. it's you again.
I'm so glad you haven't left yet. I bought something for you. Here, take this candy for these flowers.
Flowers?
Have a nice trip, but please hurry back. I didn't want to take you to the station, but you made me.
I know. I made you.
Why do people always have to go away?
$9,000 taxi drivers in Los Angeles. I had to get Betty Davis.
Boss, we're almost ready to go. I better take Polly and put her on the train.
Okay.
All right.
Now, Rochester, wait a minute. You better take this, too. And here, and I'll meet you on the train.
All right.
Here, take this. Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Mr. Benny.
Mr. Kitzel! Kitzel! Why are you dressed like that?
I'm going back to Glasgow for a family reunion.
A family reunion?
Aye, lady, the Kitzels of Loch Lomond.
You mean that your family is Scotch?
Hoot, man.
Oh, my. Is your wife Scotch?
Positively Scotch, yes.
What do you know? So your wife is a wee bonny lassie, huh?
Wee bonny she isn't, but like lassie she looks.
Mr. Kitzel, you must be kidding.
Yes, oh my.
I thought so. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Can you play the bagpipes?
No, when I bought the suit, Jim Clinton threw it in.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Kitzel.
Goodbye.
Have a wonderful trip and a lot of fun.
And a wee Dochen Doris to you.
Yeah.
Glow man in the glow man with my back.
Attention, please. Attention. This is an emergency. Will the section hands and maintenance men please clear track 7? The express now arriving in Los Angeles has no brakes. It is now going through Hollywood. It is now going through Westwood. It is now going through Santa Monica. And there you are.
Gee, this I can't figure out at all. Oh, Mister.
Yeah.
Are you the ticket clerk?
No, they put me behind these bars for toasting marshmallows out of season.
Look, now, don't be smart. I have a reservation here for a ticket. I'm Jack Benny.
Well, you could have fooled me. I thought you were Davy Crockett.
Now, look, I've got a ticket there. I made a reservation.
Well, that's funny. I don't find any reservation here for you, Mr. Benny.
Well, I made it 3 days ago. Anyway, if you haven't got it, give me a ticket right away. I need space on the Super Chief. I'm going to New York.
Well, would you like the $60 ticket or the $140 ticket?
Why, what's the difference?
With the $140 ticket, you ride inside.
Well, of course I want to ride inside. Now, don't be smart and get me my ticket. I want a ticket to New York.
Return trip?
No, one way.
Good. Now, if we can only get rid of the small.
Now, cut that out.
Well, aren't we lucky? I just found your reservation.
You didn't find it at all. You had it all the time. You just did that to aggravate me.
Ooh, did I?
Give me the ticket, will you?
Attention, please. Attention. The Super Chief now leaving for Albuquerque, Kansas City, Chicago, and New York. All aboard.
That's my train. Hurry up. Yeah. Here.
Boss, we're getting ready to go.
I'll be with you in a minute.
Sign right there.
Okay. Be right with you, Roger.
Boss!
I'm coming. I'm coming. I'll be right with you. Right with you.
Bye, Marion.
Goodbye, Bill.
Hey, Bill. Bill, look at this is This is none of my business, but you better hurry, too.
What for? My train doesn't leave till September.
September?
Bye, Marion.
Goodbye, Bill.
Well, look, my train leaves right away. Goodbye, Marion.
Jack will be back in just a minute, but first...
Light up a lucky.
It's light up time.
Be happy, go lucky.
It's light up time.
For the taste that you like, light up a lucky strike.
Relax.
It's light up time.
You know, probably the most fun about working around the yard is when your wife says, "Come on, let's have a smoke." Especially if the smoke is a Lucky Strike. Because a Lucky tastes better every time. And I'll tell you why that is. It all begins right here in the heart of America's tobacco-growing country. Begins with fine tobacco. LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Tobacco so fine, so light, so mild, it's just naturally good tasting. And then that tobacco is toasted. It's toasted is the famous Lucky Strike process that brings Lucky's fine tobacco to its peak of flavor. Tones it up to make it taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. So whenever it's light up time for you, light up a Lucky. You'll say it's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
For the taste that you like, light up a Lucky Strike.
Right now.
Light up a Lucky. It's light up time.
Oh, boy. Gee, that was a good dinner. They really have good food on this train. Well, I think I might as well relax and... Wait a minute. Whose clothes are these? This isn't my station. It is D. Gee, I can't... You!
I told you I hate the station. I didn't want to come to the station. I tried to break away, and it's your fault. You made me come to the station. I hate to come to the station, but you made me.
I couldn't help it. I'll get another compartment. I'll get another compartment. Stay here.
Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to watch Ann Sutter next week. And Jack Benny will be on in 2 weeks from New York with his guest, Jackie Gleason. It'll be the funniest show.
Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. He was right. Even though he was crying, he was right. I'm going to be in New York in 2 weeks and do my last show from there, and my guest star is going to be Jackie Gleason. You see, I was on his show once, and we have a sort of a reciprocal agreement. You see, where I go on Jackie Gleason's show for nothing. You see, you know I don't get paid. You know what I mean? And then Gleason, of course, comes on my show for nothing, you see. Reciprocal meaning that Gleason is just as cheap as I am. And, of course, we're all going, and Mary may be on this show, too, in about 2 weeks. That is, if it won't interfere with her shopping. I know you're wondering, now, why would she be shopping? You know, how could she be in a store on Sunday? Well, they lock her in Saturday night. So if any of you in New York happen to pass a store window and they see a mannequin changing furs, you see, don't worry about it, it's Mary. You know, and now, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I'll never forget, I must tell you about this. Mary, the last time we went to New York, well, I think it was the last trip, Mary said to me that she She had never been to the circus. She wanted me to take her to the circus, so I did, you know. And then when we got inside, of course, I was a wreck in there. Never saw such animals. I jumped away and said, Jack, what's the matter? I said, well, look at these. I never saw animals like these in my life, with lions and tigers. And she said, Jack, take off your glasses. This is the flea circus. We had the most wonderful time. Really. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet the fella that's been on my show for so many years and did the crying taxi driver, Mel Blanc. Ladies and gentlemen. Mel, I want to tell you something. Really, you've been with me so many years, and you gave the most wonderful performance today. You were really great.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to sell you one of those, but anyway, Mel, you know what's amazing to me? How you can cry anytime you want to, like on the spur of the moment and everything. How do you do a thing like that? I can't understand it. It is just wonderful acting. Cry a little bit now.
Well, I have to be in the mood, Jack. I'm not in the mood right now.
Oh, you mean you're not? Well, couldn't you try? I mean, you could. Now that you couldn't, I say. Well, all right. Well, anyway, thanks very, very much.
Thank you, Jack.
For being on the show. Oh, wait a minute. Mel, come back here. I may not see you later on, so here's your check, you know. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to... I can't understand music. I must be through. Goodbye.
Appearing on tonight's program were Mel Blanc, the Sportsmen Quartet, Frank Nelson, Sheldon Leonard, Artie Auerbach, Chucky Bradley, Mike Moore, and Dolores Donlin. Remember, 1 week from tonight on this same station, be sure and watch Ann Southern in Private Secretary. Jack Benny's next television show will be in 2 weeks. In the meantime, this is Don Wilson reminding you to listen to Jack Benny on radio every Sunday night over the CBS Radio Network.
Here's true tobacco taste for filter smokers. Filter Tip Tareyton gives you all the full, rich flavor of Tareyton's famous quality tobacco and real filtration. Filter smokers everywhere are turning to Filter Tip Tareyton because only smooth, easy-drawing Filter Tip Tareyton gives them true tobacco taste. Look for the red, white, and blue stripes on the package. They identify Filter Tip Tareyton, the best in filtered smoking.
The Jack Benny program has been brought to you by the American Tobacco Company, America's leading manufacturer of cigarettes. The Jack Benny program has been selected for viewing by America's armed forces overseas.